Hi everyone, how are you? I have this stuffed popper recipe or dish that I'm going to bring to you. I am doing this voiceover outside and there's a little bit of traffic sometimes, so just want to give you a little bit of a heads up. So I got this idea because I do like jalapeno poppers. Sometimes they're just too hot for me and no one else in the house eats them. So I figured I would give it a try with these mini bell peppers. So I'm just slicing them up, cleaning out the ribs and the seeds. Now, usually when you do jalapenos, you clean them out that way for heat purposes, but since that's just something I do usually when I clean these up to use them in dips or with dips instead of a tortilla chip or something like that, I'm just doing it to be consistent. That's just the way I usually do it. So I've got the red, the orange, and the yellow. And you'll see I slipped with the knife a couple times, but everything's fine. I didn't get hurt. These knives we've had forever. They're a little bit dull. So I'm just trying to line up which way to cut them so that I would have, so they wouldn't tip over so much in the dish and they would hold the stuffing well. So as I was making this, my husband was he was putting some leftovers together. We had some white rice, some ground beef that I had seasoned earlier this week. Not with specific type of seasoning, but just like salt and pepper, garlic, onion, and a little bit of Italian seasoning, I think. And he pulled out some of the creamy tomato basil soup. So he put all of that in the pot and simmered it. And he mentioned that would probably be good in these too. So I'm going to arrange this in this dish. And I'm trying to kind of do like a color pattern, but that doesn't necessarily work out perfectly, but it works out fine. Now this bacon dish, I believe, is pretty vintage. The bottom has embossed on it, either it's from Italy or France, and I can't remember which one, but my mom and I thrifted it one day several months ago when she was visiting, and I'm just excited to be able to use it. We're out in the country. We live on somewhat of a busy country road, but like right now, there are some dogs just going nuts off in the distance. I don't know if it's playtime or feeding time. But here I am still arranging the peppers. Now these, after I got them out of the oven, they tasted great, and they actually kind of tasted like an Alfredo pizza, like little pizza bites. And what's neat is you can pretty much alter the flavor profile to whatever ethnicity, we'll say, you prefer. So I ended up grabbing a couple more peppers to fit in, but then you'll see that I had basically one pepper too many, but I just used those to dip while I was waiting for them to cook. And as you can see, this video is 13 and a half minutes long. And besides the cooking time, that's really how long this took. It's a fairly quick dish to make, and I definitely attribute that to the filling was already pre-made. And I did look this up online. I don't know if I said this earlier, but I looked up this type of a recipe online because I just wanted to make sure that putting the dip in the oven, like, it was going to be fine to cook, and I just wanted to see if anybody else had done it before, and somebody else has done this before. So I really just borrowed from the recipe the temperature and the length of time. So if you have a favorite spinach and artichoke dip recipe that you use, by all means, use that in place of the store-bought ready-made dip. Trying to block the wind a little bit so it's not so loud on here. But this is the spinach dip that I used. It's the Member's Mark. Now this is one that we have been using, and this dish I'm making just for us. If I were making this for company coming over or taking it to a gathering, I definitely would use just a brand new unopened package. We don't generally double dip here, but one can never be too sure. So I just spoon this in to each of the pepper halves. If you wanted to, you could absolutely put it in a Ziploc and cut off the corner and pipe the filling into each half. Personally, I think that would end up wasting too much of the dip, but it is probably a neater way to fill these. It wasn't too messy. I was thinking of some other ways to flavor this. So this is spinach artichoke dip. I think if you added bacon bits or little bacon pieces, that would definitely add to the savory portion of this. And you could also use maybe some little tiny pieces of prosciutto, or even if you did a mixture of half hot and half mild Italian sausage, like ground Italian sausage, that would be really yummy with this too. These were so good. I might consider making them for Thanksgiving. My mother-in-law really likes jalapeno poppers, so I might buy a few for her just because I know she likes them. But it would be neat to have options, so hot options and mild options. So almost done with this portion. So here I am trying to figure out the the color pattern and if there's enough room to fit everything in. But sometimes you just gotta go with it. All right, so they're all in there. This is where I thought that I didn't record. So I'm going to show you the ingredients that I used. These are the mini peppers from Sam's. I think I used just under half a bag. And then the spinach and artichoke dip from Sam's, the Members Mark brand. And I just used a spoon to put the filling inside each half. And then I sprinkled some Parmesan on top, which you could use breadcrumbs if you preferred. And I just used the Kraft Parmesan. The fancier, like little mini shredded parm would be so good. So here it is. I just popped it in the oven at 375. I did 14 minutes initially, and I put it in the middle of the oven. But then I bumped it up to the top with the broiler for probably about 2 minutes. And I stayed right by the oven with the door cracked open so I could watch it so it wouldn't burn. So here it is, all done. I'll give you a little bit of a closer look. They came out so good. They're so yummy. So I encourage you to give this a try if this is something that you think you and your family would like. And let me know what you think and if you think you would make this. So I hope y'all are having a happy fall, happy Thanksgiving. Talk to y'all next time.